Mary Anning's Lost Legacy by Josephine, Jessica, and Lillian. Mary Anning was a pioneering fossil collector and paleontologist active in the 19th century. Born in 1799, this remarkable woman spent her life searching the shores of Lyme Regis in southwest England, unearthing fossils that revolutionized our understanding of the geological past. Despite her numerous contributions, Anning is an oft-forgotten figure in history due to her gender and class status. Regardless of having demonstrated that her outstanding achievements and insights supplied essential information to a world on the verge of a scientific revolution, she was excluded from discourse due to her lack of academic credentials and her status as a woman. Her tireless efforts to excavate and study fossils in the shadows of male colleagues are a testament to her resilience and persistence in an era she had no control over. Despite being condemned to obscurity by history, Mary Anning deserves to be remembered for a life devoted to unraveling Earth's mysteries. To elaborate further on her background, Mary Anning was born on May 21, 1799, in the coastal English town of Lyme Regis. She came from a working-class family, with her father being a cabinet maker and his wife being a maidservant. The 19th century consisted of women's rights being greatly limited and females only being able to contribute to household work to the family income. Pursuing paleontology and science in general had been unheard of, given that the common jobs for women were teaching, nursing, and domestic service. The obscurity of women's rights impacted society's view of Mary Anning immensely, thus leading to the anonymity she would have to face for centuries.
Mary Anning faced a plethora of adversity during her lifetime. As a woman in the 19th century, she risked being ridiculed for partaking in unwomanly activities, such as fossil collecting and geological pursuits. In addition, her lack of class privilege led to her and her family facing discrimination from society. Moreover, her religious beliefs and scientific work were called into question by some due to the Bible's rejection of evolution theory. The Bible teaches that the earth is only 6,000 years old, a notion Mary Anning would dispute. Through her discovery of fossils, she was able to prove the earth to be much older, leading to the dismissal of religious dogma and providing scientific evidence contrary to what was previously accepted as the truth. Furthermore, due to an unyielding determination and strong spirit, Mary Anning overcame all odds presented to her: her gender, poverty, and lack of professional education.
Although Anning had to struggle for virtually her entire life, she was able to make great strides in both the scientific and historical communities. In terms of scientific contributions, Anning uncovered several important fossils that challenged the worldview of her present society, which had been fixated on religious doctrine over scientific insight. Moreover, she introduced the word dinosaur into common parlance, thus being acknowledged as being responsible for widening her understanding of Earth's history. As a woman who chose to pursue science in a field and era where discrimination was rife, Mary Anning demonstrated exceptional strength and courage. In addition, generations of women have been inspired by her achievements and can apply her narratives to their own lives. Regardless of how difficult or challenging the task may seem, they can always persevere and remain firm in the face of prejudiced misconceptions. In the 19th century, various social and political events had a significant effect on Mary Anning's work. Articles in newspapers and periodicals, as well as a rise in British imperialism, ultimately restricted her access to important scientific resources. To clarify, the Westminster Parliamentary Papers released in 1833 curtailed her ability to pursue research and travel due to growing restrictions on the exports of fossils from Britain. The immediate impact of these restrictions was that Mary Anning's work became limited, as obtaining the materials or traveling abroad to expand her knowledge was now too expensive for her to manage. Despite this setback, the long-term implications of these restrictions turned out to be even greater. Mary Anning remained isolated due to a lack of scientific support and negative public perception, leading her discoveries to be largely forgotten. In spite of her ongoing adversity, she never ceased to provide invaluable contributions. However, due to her gender and class status, she remained unknown for a long time. Despite the difficulties presented to her, Mary Anning still managed to make an immeasurable impact on young females today, paving the path to excellence in their field. Though her impact on women was monumental, it was not the only impact Mary Anning would leave on history. Her discoveries were memorable, and her work warranted recognition on an international scale. In the short term, her finds served as instrumental evidence in the establishment of topics such as geology and anthropology.
her contribution to the developing field of paleontology was particularly crucial. Her unearthing of extinct species like ichthyosaurs, plesiosaurs, and pterosaurs revolutionized our knowledge on reptilian societies of ages past.
Fossils were a vital frontier as they changed our understanding of the history of life and, by extension, the universe. The discovery of the ichthyosaur, Mary Anning's most famous find, was essential in the development of the theory of extinction. This was a revolutionary idea as it was contrary to the belief that all species had been created in their current form, a notion that had been heavily supported by religious principle. Mary Anning is an especially important historical figure because she demonstrated remarkable success in a field that was heavily dominated by men. During a time period where women were largely excluded from any kind of scientific or academic pursuits, Mary Anning persevered. Furthermore, her discoveries were crucial in the development of fields such as geology, anthropology, and paleontology. In addition, her excavation of fossils led to the establishment of the theory of extinction and overturned the notion that all species had been created in their current form, which had been heavily supported by religious doctrine. Her legacy and contribution to science will forever serve as an inspiration to young females everywhere and should always be remembered.